So as y'all probably know, the new NFL opponent schedule came out for every single team, and I did this 2 years ago, and I'm gonna do it again this year. I'm gonna predict the 2024-2025 Raiders season. Let's go. All right, so here's our home opponents. We got the Broncos, Chiefs, and Chargers, of course, and then we got the Browns, the Steelers for the fourth year in a row, which is crazy. The Falcons, the Panthers, and the Jaguars. And then for away, we got the Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, of course. And we got the Bengals, Ravens, Saints, which if Derek Carr doesn't get cut, then he's going to be playing his old team. He's probably out for revenge, so y'all keep a lookout for that one. And then we got the Buccaneers, the Dolphins, and the Rams. All right, so I think we're going to start out with our division rivals at first. So first we got the Broncos, home and away. I say we win both those games because we have gone 8-0 against them. And I'm not sure if Sean Payton's going to stay because he had a pretty bad year. And I don't know if Russell Wilson's going to stay, so they're going to be looking for a quarterback. And I think the Broncos will be in shambles next year like they have been. So we go 2-0 against the Broncos. All right, next up, we got the Chiefs. So this one, it could really go either way. I think we're going to win at home and lose it away. But I'm pretty confident that it's going to be a 1-1 in that series. And it'd be nice to beat them at away, but it's also nice to get a home win. So it could really go either way for this one. But we do take one loss against the Chiefs and one win. And now for our last division rival, we got the Chargers. So there might be some disrespect on this one, but we're going to beat them both times, home and away. And I don't really care what people say because the Chargers, their coach got fired, so they ended the season bad and started the season bad. And I'm not sure if Justin Herbert is going to stay there next year, to be honest, because, he's been through injuries, and I'm just not sure if he's a stable option for them. So I'm going to say we beat the Chargers both times, which puts us at 5-1 for our division, which is pretty bold, but I'm confident in that. Okay, so for our first home game, we have the Browns. And this could really go either way, but I think we're going to take the L to the Browns because they've been a pretty solid team this year. They made the playoffs. Not sure if they're going to go the far or if they'll be a first-round exit, but they have a good quarterback, a good coach, and as long as Joe Flacco stays, I think they'll win because they have Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett. They have like a great, solid team and Amari Cooper. So I say if all those people stay, we're going to take an L to the Browns. So for our next home game, we have the Steelers, and this is the fourth year in a row we've played against them, which is an NFL record, if I'm not wrong. And I think we are actually going to take the L here because Kenny Pickett, as long as he stays, I believe in him as a quarterback. And I know he got injured this year, but I think he'll be a solid QB next year. And it's Mike Tomlin, of course. They always find a way to make the playoffs. So I think we lose this game to the Steelers. Okay, so for our last three home games, we have the Falcons, Panthers, and Jaguars. So I think we're going to beat the Falcons, beat the Panthers, which I think doesn't even need an explanation. Bryce Young is okay, but I don't think that he will have a great season next year. And hey, that might not be the right prediction, but I just don't think that the Panthers are going to beat the Raiders next year or the Falcons. And then we got the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is an elite QB, but the way I see it, I think the Raiders are going to win this game because the way that this season ended for them was just kind of sad. I mean, they started 8-3, and then they lost, I think, 5 out of their last 6 games, and they didn't make the playoffs. So for that reason, I think that the Raiders will beat the Jaguars next year. Okay, now for our away games, we have the Bengals. I think we lose this game as long as Joe Burrow's healthy and Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase. They have a lot of good players, and I like their coach. So the way I see it, I think the Bengals are going to win this game at their home stadium. All right, now we have the Ravens. So this could be a pretty controversial prediction, and it's going to be a super tough game. But I think that the Raiders are going to come out on top and upset the Ravens next year. And then that'll be a pretty crazy game because I think the Ravens are going to have a great season next year, and that'll be one of their few losses. Okay, so next we have the Saints. And I say we're going to take the L, and we might even get blown out by the Saints as long as Derek Carr stays there next year. I'm not sure who the coach is going to be or if they're going to fire Dennis Allen, but I'd like the Saints winning this game because Derek Carr is going to want revenge against the Raiders and Mark Davis, and this one might actually be a blowout. Okay, next on the list is the Buccaneers, and I think the Raiders are going to win this game because I don't really see it in Baker Mayfield. He's an average quarterback, and I know they won the division this year, but I don't know. They beat the Panthers 9-0, all field goals, and I just don't think they're like a solid offense. And I think Mike Evans is not re-signing with them, and he's going to be in free agency. So I like the Raiders to win this game against the Buccaneers. All right, for our final two teams, we have the Miami Dolphins and the Los Angeles Rams. So I think we're going to take the L to the Dolphins. They're going to be a solid team next year, as they have been. And I know they're losing a lot of games to better teams than them, but I think that the Dolphins and the Raiders next year will be around the same caliber team. And it'll be a close game, but I just feel that the Dolphins are going to come out on top in this one. As long as Tyreek Hill and Tua stay, they're going to be a good team next year. And for our final team, we have the LA Rams. I say we're going to win this game. And this one will probably be the closest game of the year. I think it'll come down to like a game-winning field goal or maybe even go to overtime because I like the Rams. They've had a really good final stretch to make the playoffs this season. I like their rookie receiver, Puka Nacua. They have a good quarterback, a good coach, and I just really like this team. But I do think the Raiders will come out on top. This will be a breakout season for sure for the Raiders. But I have faith in Aiden O'Connell, and I have a lot of faith in Antonio Pierce. And as long as he stays, this is going to be a great season for the Raiders. Okay, so for the Raiders' final record, they go 11-6. I don't think they're going to win their division because the Chiefs are probably going to pick up a wide receiver over the offseason. And as long as Patrick Mahomes has targets to throw to, they're going to be a deadly team like always. So they're going to go second in the division, and then they're going to make the wild card. And I think the Raiders will make it to the AFC Championship and lose that game. See y'all next time.